Incident Report Koral Station, Containment Wing B, Corridor 7. Filed by Senior Handler Osik Vareth, Head of Containment Security. Classification: Internal Mandatory Review Pending. I am going to write this plainly, because I have now attempted the formal version twice, and both drafts made the station look incompetent in ways that are technically accurate but contextually misleading. What follows is accurate. I will let the review board decide what to do with it. At 14:22 station time, Enclosure 14's eastern transit gate failed during a scheduled feeding cycle. The occupant, a Vethak bull, adult male, designation K14, mass approximately 1,100 kilograms, classified threat level 4, entered Corridor 7 at speed. The gate malfunction was later attributed to a corroded latch pin in the secondary lock mechanism. That pin is now in a sealed evidence container on my desk. It is very small. I mention this only because the size of the failure seems disproportionate to what followed. I deployed all 12 available containment officers within 90 seconds of the breach alarm. I want that noted. 12 officers, full kit, impact barriers, tranquilizer lances, sonic deterrents, 2 mobile barrier units. We had every tool the station's containment protocol specifies for a threat level 4 recovery. The Vethak bull weighed more than the 2 barrier units combined, and it had 22 meters of open corridor to work with, and it was not calm. At 14:41, 19 minutes into the incident, K14 had displaced both mobile barrier units, fouled the tranquilizer array when it put a foreleg through handler Dissect's lance before she could fire, and driven the remaining 10 officers back to the Corridor 7 junction. Nobody was seriously injured. That is the one clean line in this report. At 14:41, nobody was seriously injured. The bull was still loose, and I had run out of options that appeared in the protocol manual. At 14:43, Dava Oren arrived. She is, I am writing this for the record, so I will be precise, a contracted fauna maintenance technician. Her station designation is Maintenance Class 2. Her duties are cleaning Enclosure 14 and 6 adjacent enclosures, servicing the automated feeding delivery systems, and filing the daily behavioral observation logs that the research division requires and, I am now aware, does not read with any particular attention. She had been in the maintenance corridor running a seal check on Duct 7C when the alarm sounded. She came to the junction carrying her work kit. She looked past me at the bull, which was at that moment making a sound I can only describe as a promise. She asked me one question. She said, "Is the ventilation still cycling on the 14-block schedule?" I told her I didn't know. She looked at the overhead panel, read the indicator herself, and said, "Good, it is." Then she opened her kit and took out a portable resonance tool, the kind used for testing Duct-Seal integrity. It is a small device. It fits in one hand. She set something on the dial, checked it, set it again. I asked her what she was doing. She said, "I'm going in," and walked past me into Corridor 7. I want to state clearly that I told her to stop. I told her twice. She didn't argue with me. She simply continued walking. What I observed in the following 3 minutes and 48 seconds, I have reviewed on the station's corridor camera record 4 times, and I will describe it as accurately as I can. Dava Oren walked to approximately the midpoint of the corridor. K14 turned toward her. The bull is, I will include this for the review board's reference, since it clearly was not adequately represented in our pre-hire orientation materials, 4 meters at the shoulder. She is not 4 meters at the shoulder. She stopped walking and activated the resonance tool. I could not hear it from the junction. The camera record shows a very faint shimmer in the air near the device. K14 stopped. It stood still for approximately 8 seconds. Then it lowered its head. Not in a threat display. I know a threat display. I have been doing this work for 19 years. It lowered its head the way it lowers its head at 06:00 when the automated feed cycle begins in Enclosure 14. The way it lowers its head when it is going to eat, and it knows the food is coming, and it has decided to be patient. At 14:47, K-14 lay down on the corridor floor. Dava Oren stood beside it for approximately 90 seconds. Then she reached out and placed her hand on the animal's neck. It did not move. She looked back at me over her shoulder and said, "I am including this verbatim. You can bring the transit cage whenever you're ready. He'll be fine for a while. He just thinks it's breakfast." We brought the transit cage. We returned K-14 to his enclosure. The latch pin has been replaced with a component rated for twice the load. In the section of this form marked resolution method, I have written, Fauna Maintenance Technician Dava Oren, Human, Maintenance Class 2, resolved the breach using a standard resonance tool tuned to a stimulus frequency she identified from 8 months of daily behavioral observation logs which she filed, and which were not reviewed by the research division. In the section marked CONTRIBUTNG FACTORS I have written, the technician knew the animal, we did not. That is the most accurate summary I am able to provide. I have no further protocol recommendation to add, except one. Someone in this station should start reading the maintenance logs. Asik Varath, Head of Containment Security, Koral Station.